Hi, this is Jessica Wright filming the Appendicular Skeleton Anatomy Lab. I'm going to make a few different videos, because there's a lot to go over, and I can't go over 10 minutes, and I need to answer all the questions. So first of all, we're going to start with the pectoral girdle. So the pectoral girdle is made of the clavicle, right here, and the scapula, which is in the back. So this is like our shoulder, basically, with the humerus right here. The clavicle articulates with the sternum, and this is the sternoclavicular joint, and then it articulates up here with the acromioclavicular joint, and these two are tied together with tendons and ligaments, and it really binds it close together. And right here, and with these makes the scapula the nice little glenoid fossa for the humerus to sit in for the nice little ball and socket joint. So next, we're going to go on to the scapula. The scapula is obviously really important. So first one, we're going to go with the coracoid process, which is this guy right here. You can see that, this little process right there that kind of sticks out. Then you have the subscapular fossa. So this is on the anterior side. It's not hard to find, but it's the nice flat smooth surface in the front of the scapula. So not on the back, but directly on the other side right here. Subscapular, so kind of below the scapula fossa. Next one is the glenoid cavity. So I said it earlier, was this nice little hole right there that the scapula forms with the clavicle. Is the glenoid fossa or glenoid cavity, which helps create our joint with the humerus. Next we have the spine. The spine of the scapula is just these little bony prominences that kind of stick out like that. Then we have the supraspinatus fossa, which is above the spine, this section right here, the flat section right there. And the infraspinatus fossa, which is below the spine right here. And like I said earlier, we have the sternoclavicular joint and the acromioclavicular joint. So kind of easy to find once you have a skeleton. Next we're going to go with the arm. So arm, humerus, big long bone over there, and the humerus has the head, which is just the big bald end point, and that helps get it into the joint. So you have the greater tubercle and then the lesser tubercle. These are basically just kind of projections where the tendons and ligaments can tap to easily. So the greater tubercle will be the one kind of sticking out farther. If you can kind of see that on the screen. The lesser one is obviously the less of a bony prominence. It didn't stick out as much. And then you have the deltoid tuberosity, and this is where the deltoid muscle attaches to make that muscle joint. On our skeleton, you can't really see it very well, so make sure I get it. Actually, on our skeleton, I don't think there's any really distinction, but it's going to be about halfway down, right there. So it's just a little bit of a raised part on the skeleton, and a thickened, I guess, more thickened part on our bones, so that it has the strength to attach with the muscle. Next, we have the medial epicondyle and the lateral epicondyle. So medial and lateral obviously means middle and lateral. So down here, medial on the inside, epicondyle is just like a little projection. And then we have our lateral epicondyle. Make sure my skeleton's facing right, yeah. On the outside, these little projections right here, epicondyle, so on top of the cartilage or on top of the bone. There we have the coronoid fossa. So the coronoid fossa is, make sure you can see that little hole right there. Make sure my skeleton's the right way. So the palms are facing out, and this is the little hole right here. And in that coronoid fossa, I like that word, it goes the ulna. So the ulna fits in there and makes our little hinged joint. The capitulum or capitulum, I believe I'm saying that right. The capitulum is the little ball thing. It's kind of hard to see on here, but you can't really see it actually on the skeleton. But on the end of the humerus, on the end of the humerus, there is like a little ball, basically. And that kind of helps keep that joint in place with the ulna having that little hinge thing right there. The capitulum kind of keeps the joint right in there. You can't really see it, but it's like basically like a ball that just helps stabilize that joint right there. That joint articulates with the ulna, making sure the radius, making sure I answer my questions. The trochlea, okay, the trochlea is next to the ball. So it's on it. In reality, it's going to be on the other side, but so if we have her capitulum on this side, the trochlea is this little guy. So there's our whole capitulum. Little projection is the trochlea, and that articulates with the ulna. So the radius is on this side. Radius is on this side, ulna is on this side. The olecranon fossa. So far we have the coronoid fossa, which is on the anterior view. The olecranon fossa is on the posterior view. So it's, So it's going to be this guy right here. That's the olecranon fossa. And what goes in there is just another part of the ulna. The ulna has like a kind of like a wrench shape where it goes in this fossa and kind of hooks on the back of this fossa, so it's nice and stable. Okay, so next we're going to go on to the forearm. The forearm is made up of the ulna, which is this one, pinky ulna, and then kind of going to repeat myself a little bit in explaining some things, but that's okay. So you have the ulna right here, the olecranon, which is the hook that I'm talking about that goes into the fossas. You have the coronoid process, which, what I said earlier, is on the anterior view. It's the hole that it articulates with, that it goes into, coronoid. And then the styloid process, which is down here on the radius side. So the styloid process is kind of bony projection right here. So this is the ulna, olecranon or olecranon, the little hook. This is the radius, and on the radius is the styloid process, that bony prominence right there. Okay, I'm going to take a break really quick.